What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Welcome to Dream Chasers Podcast, Episode 4. I'm here with the professional player, KingJay. Jay, how you doing today, Bubba?
I'm good. I'm good. Vibing. You know how it goes.
Just kind of introduce yourself, tell the guys what you do, and whatever you want to go
Yeah.
with.
Well, pro player. Played for BBG. Played for Native Gaming. Currently playing for Status Quo. This is my second year competing in Halo. Obviously, year one being my rookie year. I came from Call of Duty, actually. Funny enough, I'm sure a lot of people probably know that already. But yeah, this is my second year in Halo, and we'll see where it goes from here, I guess.
I'm about to say you come out pretty hot with your first year. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to ask you this, man, because you always had the Native Gaming banner up on
Yeah.
your page. I was still like getting into the scene, like learning stuff about the scene. What happened with Native Gaming and like that whole, if you can talk about it, if any.
Um. Yeah, I mean, well, like Dean is one of the coolest people I've ever. Dean is Deranged Native, for those who
Mm.
don't know. One of the coolest people I ever met. Obviously, owner founder of Native Gaming. We were native originally, and then when KCP was getting rid of their team, Dean actually like came to us and he was like, "Hey, would you guys be offended if I put a bid in for that roster?" Which is obviously like Manny, Soul Snipe, Druck, Talik.
Yeah.
And we're like, nah, like I no, like we wouldn't be offended. Like we appreciate you like telling us. Like he's like, you guys aren't getting dropped, none of this. We're gonna field two rosters. So it was all like smooth sailing. I didn't have a problem with it whatsoever. And then obviously we didn't make worlds that year. Our contract was ending right there anyways. But it was there's no bad blood whatsoever. I love Native. It's my favorite org I've been a part of. Don't tell Flamesword that. And I love Dean. So
Do you ever see yourself? Well, probably not the best question to ask. Do you ever think you see yourself a part of that org again in the future?
oh, I don't know if I could talk about
Yeah, I don't
that,
know. I
but
don't know
yeah,
if you could or not.
but yeah, definitely.
I would like to meet that guy. I know I've heard a lot of good things, especially from other people about him. And
Super cool guy. Super cool.
so we're going to talk about a little bit of hot topic. We had a little incident today. We're not going to name any names, give anybody extra juice today. But
Uh,
something I've always wanted to like. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm an amateur. There's other amateurs in the scene, obviously, but like a lot of these amateurs and what I know I quoted as, and me and Thug Nasty, shout out Thug Nasty, we talked about is like these kids might have talent or they might have like the skill to play, but they don't have
yeah,
that professional mental.
yeah, definitely. I don't know. I wouldn't say a lot, but I'm sure there are a lot of AMs think like, oh, I can shoot straight. I got what it takes. And it's like, dude, like like shooting straight is the last thing it takes to become
Yeah.
like a to play at the top level. Like there's so much other shit that comes into it, whether it's like work ethic, knowing how to play as a team, like chemistry, like blah blah blah. Like shooting straight is literally one of the lowest things that matters. So like using that as like a I should be here kind of like measure is like terrible. I don't know. There's just I guess I don't know. I don't want to be like egotistical, but there's just like levels. It's like I wish, I wish I could like play with every single person that DMs me. Because if I showed you guys my DMs and I'm not at the higher level of pros, I'm towards the bottom, so I can only imagine what the higher level pros DMs look like. But I have hundreds of DMs from players, whether it's like lower level players, players I've never even heard of, players I have heard of. Like I get like hundreds, and like I can't like I don't. There's only so much time in a day. Like
You got
I
to be
can't
squeezing them in,
play.
man. One game
Yeah,
at least.
yeah, I can't play with everybody, and like especially for me, who like I can't waste time. Like it's not like I can't waste 2 months on the hope that you're going to become good, or on the hope that this AM player I don't know is going to turn out to be a good player. Like I can't waste time. It's like I'm only giving my time to players I know are worth it and players I know that are proven. And it's like that's just is what it is. It's not personal. It's never been personal. It's me not responding or me telling someone no is never a personal thing. It's just like you just got to do what's best for you. And it's like wasting. It's not like I won't even say wasting, but like giving time to see if someone fits that is completely unknown to me is just not right. Like it just doesn't make sense. So
Well, if especially for me in this percent like this kind of for this situation, what do amateurs need to do, or do you just kind of build like an amateur team, like a top am team, and just see if you make a name for yourself if you go that way? And
yeah, no, I think I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what the worst thing you can do as an AM is no, it's not even what you think. It's team hopping. It's every single week being an FA or every single week rotating a different fourth in and out. It's like, dude, especially in a game like Infinite, where the skill gap isn't individual skill in Infinite. Skill gap obviously, or I mean, individual skill obviously matters, but that's not what separates teams at the highest level. Like everybody is good at the highest level. There's no bad player in the highest level. Like what separates teams is teamwork. So like as an AM, if you're one of those AMs where every week after the open, you're on a different team, you're looking for different players, you are screwing yourself. I promise you you're screwing yourself. There's no such thing as instant success. You have to put the work in. You need to stick with a four you see potential in. You need to grind it out no matter placements, whatever it is. It's like you need chemistry, you need teamwork, and you're not ever going to have chemistry and teamwork by starting from square one every single week. So like I see all these AMs every week, they'll play the open, they'll get knocked out, and instantly they're tweeting FA or they're tweeting needed fourth. It's like dude, you're starting from square one every week. So what do you think's going to happen every single week? It's going to be the same shit every week. Like that is the worst thing you can do. Like literally find a four you believe in, find a four you think have potential and stick it out no matter what. Because I'm telling you, it'll be better than hopping and hopping and hopping.
That's the shit that I can't stand it. Cause like I say this all the time, and hell, every AM says it. But I'm really good about looking at like what I'm doing wrong, and I'm always cool with taking critiques and like trying to figure out what is it that is the problem. But for me, like I built this team. I'm not gonna name any names. I built this team. I felt like we had the potential. We were doing really well, and then the team split up. You know, one of us made got a higher placing out of it at the end of it, but
Yeah.
I knew that if we stuck together the way our chemistry was, that we could actually build something. And then now I'm kind of like stuck at square one again, you know. And I'm not gonna lie and say, I mean, because it sometimes it just beats you down. Because I mean, every time I know I have the right mindset, I feel is like I want to build something, and I know that's the only way we're gonna do it. Like look at Manny and Talk and Druck and them. Like I use them as an
Exactly.
example all the time because God, they've been how long have they been together at this point?
It's been like 5 years, six
Yeah,
years,
5 years.
literally.
And like that's something I'd love to build. I guess I don't know what the next step for me is. Is like, do I just keep looking, keep trying to build teams until everybody sticks and has the same mental?
It's just hard. Like it's just hard in the AM scene because like you're. It's. I don't think you'll like you have the mentality, but will you ever find three players that have the same mentality? It's like probably not. Like because that's just how the AM scene thinks. They just think it's like hop, 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 and hopefully one time randomly you're gonna place well, and it's like okay, then we'll stick. It's like that's just not how it works. So it's like it's hard for someone who's in the position of yourself who has the mentality, like the right mentality to find other people that are like-minded, but I mean, you just gotta like stick it out. Like you said, like you had a decent squad going for a while. Like you guys were teaming for a while, and then somebody got an offer, they left, whatever, blah blah blah. Like that's gonna happen. People are gonna see like AMs are gonna get shots, whether it's with a better team, whatever it is. Like it's gonna happen. Like that sucks. Like, but again, like as long as you have the right mentality, head down, grind, like you'll end up.
That's what I tell myself. It's like I came in. I'm not a long time Halo player. I'm kind of like you. I came from COD. I played a little bit of amateur COD. Didn't really see myself long term doing it, but I knew that old Halos. I played them when I was a little bit younger, but I never did anything. So when I come in the scene, I'm like, okay, I'm shit at this. I don't know anything. So I approached everything with that mindset so that I could talk to people and learn from people. Even
Yeah,
hell at Charlotte when we were damn playing poker and shit, I was asking you questions. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because I just don't understand that ego mindset. It's not going to get you anywhere.
Yep, no, I agree. And like you said, like picking the brains of players you think are better or players that are in better positions or pros, whatever it is. It's like obviously that's one of the best things you can do as an AM.
As much as I can, I'm every at any point. That's like even DreamHack. I'm gonna go to DreamHack and hopefully get some opportunities to pick some more brains and just kind of. I have the professional mindset. I just need to get my game up to par and then build a team with it, and I should be all right. I just gonna take some time to get there.
Yeah,
KingJay, why
definitely.
not? Why I didn't get a try on better than Renegade? As
Shut
far as
up,
over here
Spar.
trolling. As
Shut
far
up,
as
Spar.
trolling. So you said your background comes from COD a little bit. Did you play COD for a while, or did you see yourself competing? Or
Yeah, so I grew up playing COD. Like just like playing with IRLs, playing like game battles and stuff. I started taking it like serious in Ghost. I started taking it real serious in Ghost. In Ghost, there was an online qualifier to go to COD Champs, and my team, we were in the qualifying round, which that in itself was like, holy shit, I can't believe we're this far. We were playing a pro team at the time was TVA for any of the OG COD players. It was Mud Dog, Sinful, Croster. I can't remember the fourth. Burns? It might have been Burns. I don't remember. But four literally pro players back then, and it was best of fives. We were up 2-0, one map away from going to COD champs, and we got reverse swept, which is like the worst, like the
Yeah,
most
it's like the
heartbreaking shit
worst thing.
ever. Yeah, ever. So like I was like we were good. Like I was really good at COD, like highest level. I made a ton of money playing COD. After like the COD champs reverse sweep choke, I kind of transitioned to like playing online tournaments and like search, like just playing search and destroy and stuff. Won a ton of online stuff, made a ton of money in COD. Was had a blast. I love COD. Still to this day, I like COD more than Halo. But I've always like in esports when it comes to like making it, it's obviously you have to be good, but I think you also need to be good at networking and have and know people. And I just knew more people in Halo. Obviously, I grew up with one of the best Halo players ever, Snakebite. We grew up together literally from childhood. So it just made sense to try to take Halo serious. I had ins, like obviously I was friends with been best friends with Royal 2 for 10 years, been best friends with PJ for my whole life. So it's like it just made sense for me to switch to Halo and just try to make it in Halo, which fortunately it worked. So again, yeah, still, but if I had the choice, like if I could choose between being on a pro COD team or a pro Halo team, I would take COD every day of the week. But unfortunately, like the opportunities were just here in Halo, so I just kind of took Halo and ran with it.
I mean, do you, as you're like as a pro player in Halo now, do you think that those opportunities like open up for you in COD? Have you had conversations? Maybe.
No, I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. Like, I'm good friends with a lot of the COD guys. In the beginning of this game, the very first open, I played with Clayster, Neptune, and Karma. Like, obviously, three huge COD guys. So, like, maybe doors open in COD, maybe. But COD is a lot harder to go pro in than Halo because of franchising. Like, there's only 48 pro players in COD. Like, that's it. There's only 48
Which is
because there's
insane to
only
me.
it's insane because there's only so many pro teams because of franchising. So I think like making it in COD is way harder than other esports for like easily.
I remember when I was playing like during around Black Ops 4s when I was competing a little bit. This guy asked me, he's like, "Hey, I want to build a team with you," and like he was like gonna coach or whatever. But that was like my thought was like, how hard is it really to get into COD? And I like looked up here and there, and then I think I played for like I only played for maybe less than a year, and then every game that I've competed in, or like maybe amateur level, whatever, I just never enjoyed it enough. Even with
Yeah.
COD, even though I love Black Ops 4, love that game, but I came to Halo, where I heard about the announcement of Halo, and I was like, this might be it. This might be my game. It might be something I can do.
Yeah.
Because for me, I when I was young, I was camera shy, I didn't talk to people, hated it, and then I just did like a full 360. So like networking for me isn't hard because I'm just friendly altogether, and I want to meet
Yeah.
more people, and I love talking to people. So I just knew, okay, well, you got to get the books out and you got to learn, man. You got to study it, and that's what we do now. Is I study the hell out of this game.
Yeah.
Which leads to like one of my questions I wanted to ask you is, so at what point or what placing or what level do you get to where it's no longer about individual players having like weaknesses, but instead strategies? At what point does it get to that?
Um I would say once you hit like I would I would say like once you hit like the top 16. Like I said, everyone shoots straight. Everyone can for you. Doesn't I don't care if Lucid is going in against a 1v1 from I won't use names because it's like disrespectful. But like
Yeah,
you can for anyone in this. It does not matter how good you can shoot in this game. It doesn't. Like I promise you. Like it does to a point, but that'll only take you so far. Like if you don't know how to play as a team, if you don't know how to play together, if you don't have chemistry, like none of that matters. So like I think once you hit the top 16, you can really see what separates like top teams from like the lower side of the teams. It's like they are so good at teamwork. They're so good at like you said strategies. They're so good at knowing how to play specific situations because they've been in these specific situations thousands of times. They know how to play off each other. It's like those things are all more important than just shooting. Like and I don't think a lot of people realize that and I don't think a lot of people understand that. But yeah, I would say like, once you hit the top 16 point in NA, like you're gonna start seeing like teams who are better, not maybe not necessarily better than shooting straight at you, but they're better as a team, and like it'll show. Like trust me, it'll
yeah,
show.
like tracking and keeping like every like
Yeah,
whatever their other team's doing. I
no,
know,
hundred
like
percent.
I know, like, for top 16, you hit that. I see this. You know, the Twitch chat is brutal. Like, even if you're an LVT or if you're an
Yeah.
HCS, like, brutal. But like, I don't think that a lot of the casual people really understand like that level of it, because you look at it and you're like, oh, status quo. I'll just use you guys for example. So you're here. Oh, status quo didn't place this, so they're a top 16, but they're terrible. You know, they don't know anything. They don't know
Hold
how to
on, we
shoot.
got top 12. Hold on,
Or
we got
top
top
12,
12.
you know what I'm
Come
saying,
on.
like you're within the top 16, top 12, but
Yeah.
like, you know how people are, they try
Oh
to
yeah.
sit here and say that you guys are like missing certain pieces. I'm like, I don't think people understand. Like you said, it comes to like the mixing of like how your chemistry is and what do you work well together and stuff like that as well.
No, yeah, definitely. It's like everyone knows how to play the game. Like, I'll be honest, like you can, like everyone knows how to play the fucking game. Like the game is pretty vanilla in the fact where like there's not too much variation when it comes to like setups or strats. Like you're like optic, optic and us, like we have this, we have the same, like we don't play the game differently, you know, like if we're playing recharge strongholds, like we're playing the same. It's just like it's the little stuff. It's like they're way better at teamwork, they're way better at playing off each other, they're way better at living, they're way better at all this. It's like that's what separates the game. Like the game in itself is pretty vanilla. It's pretty upfront. There's no hidden strats. There's no, it's not complex. Like if you look at a game like Counter Strike, that's complex.
Yeah.
That's like that's very complex. Like you can't, like that game is like down to a science with those pros. That's not how Halo is. Halo is all about teamwork. That's all it is. Like this game, this Halo specifically. If you look at H5, H5, yes, you need a teamwork, but individual talent shined way more in H5. You look at players like Frosty or Renegade or Shotzi, they could take over a game. Like they could take it over single-handedly. Like in Infinite, yeah, you'll have those games like you'll see players pop off, but at the end it doesn't matter. I just watched the game yesterday, FaZe versus SSG. Royal 2 had 50 kills and they lost. He went plus 20
Yeah.
and they lost. Like cuz it doesn't, like individual skill doesn't matter. Like it matters in this game, but not as much as people think.
I think people put a lot of emphasis on that. Like, if you can't do this to a certain point or up to par with this individual, then you feel as if like, okay, that player can't bring anything to a team. But like you said, it always breaks down to your teamwork and whatnot. Do you think if we decided to bring the Bandit next year in the season, do you think that would change?
No. I mean, unless the bandit itself changed. If we're talking about like the bandit right now, I don't think shit changes. I'll be honest. Like it, I don't know. It's just this game. Like I don't want to say this game's easy, but it is. Like aiming is easy in this game. So like I don't think the starting weapon matters. It's more so like the mechanics and stuff in this game is, I think, what it boils down to. I don't think the starting weapon matters. Like if we just started with bandit starts, I don't think anything changes. I still think optic phase SSD are still top three. No one touches them, and so on and so forth. I
Do you?
could be wrong. I could be
Yeah,
completely
I
wrong,
mean,
but
well, I mean, do you think if maybe if they put a scope and you put D scope in it, still you don't think it would
yeah,
change?
no. If they like fixed the bandit and made it like an actual good starting weapon, I mean, sure, I'm sure some teams will be better, some teams will be worse, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it'll change the game completely.
So when it comes to these players, and like you've seen, let's just use Bound for example, hop up and come in through the scene, and Bound did a lot of stuff in H5. Those, you said those three teams are usually the top, you know, Space Station, Phase, Optic. Is it those players can never be touched at a point, like you'll never reach that limit, or do you think it's just a matter of timing and how much effort you put into it?
I don't want to say it's a matter of effort because that's kind of like diminishing the other teams. That's like me
Mm.
saying like teams like Native Red don't put on as much time or effort as the top three teams, which is just not true at all. I don't know. Like,
I
it's
think
just
it
like
means like what I meant to say is like I guess how much you practice, if that makes sense, or like, is it like a certain amount of like, because you know those most of those guys and they've been playing Halo for years. So is it untouchable at this point, or is it?
nah, it's no one's untouchable. Like as you can tell, no, like you never Optic got top six this tournament. It's
Yeah.
like which no one thought was possible for them. So no one's untouchable. Um, will that top three be shaken up eventually? I'm sure. I'm sure teams like Native Red or Native White or like any or even Complexity, like I'm sure like those teams will shake up the top three. So I don't think they're like untouchable. But like as it stands right now, I think they just have their teamwork down to like a science. Like they just play so well off each other, which you just don't see in other teams, which I think is what separates them, honestly.
Do you guys take a lot of influence? And it seems like a dumb question. Some people don't understand. Do you guys take like a lot of influence of their teamwork and try to implement it in your gameplay?
we don't like we don't think it's smart to try to emulate step by step what teams do. Like at least our mindset, we will watch other games. Well, especially when we play the top teams, we'll see what they do versus us, and we'll try to take like little things here and there. But we don't try to like emulate a step for step because you can't. Because it's like we
Different
we
players.
we don't have Lucid, we don't have Formal, we don't have someone like that on our team, so you can't replicate what they do exactly. What you can replicate is how they play certain situations or how they play certain times of the map or like when they're like stuff like that you can replicate, but I don't think you can like copy it like one by one.
Yeah, I did. I know. I try to think about that sometimes. Like, would it come? Does it really come down to? Can you just? Because every team's different, right? And every player is different. So different players do different things. So you can't you can't for base like copy exactly what Optic
No,
does because it's just not going to work.
because it'll never work because you don't have APG, you don't have Lucid, you don't have Formal, you don't have Trip, you don't have these four players, so you'll never emulate them step by step. But you can take inspiration and take little bits of their game and apply it to you. That you can do, but you'll never be able to copy them one for one. Never.
Did you ever really see yourself like I know you probably played a game since you could pick up a controller. Did you ever think you'd be competing and maybe that was something you want to do?
Yeah, from a kid, like I was never with the whole 9 to 5 shit or
Yeah.
like schooling or like none of that. Like gaming was just what I did as a kid, and I knew eventually I wanted to turn it into a job. I've been fortunate enough to where I can, like now I can support myself, I can live my life because of gaming. It is my career now, so it's like super crazy to think like I made it here, but I don't think a lot of people see the time and work that I put in to get here and the relationships I burned. And my social life is just non existent because I've just nonstop and gaming, trying to get here. So, like, there's a lot of sacrifices and a lot of risks you take. And it's pretty scary to, like, try to tell, like, I had to tell my girlfriend's parents that I was trying to play video games for a living. It's like
Yeah.
that's like a scary combo to have. I
Terrible.
thankfully enough, my family supported me the whole time. My grandmother and my mom used to bring me to tournaments. They would buy me whatever I needed, blah blah blah. So like I never have an issue with that. But it's still like I think nowadays it's more mainstream. Like 10 years ago, it's like I feel like it was more like looked down upon. Like now I feel like it's kind of normalized. But yeah, I don't know. It's always scary like trying to do it, and fortunately enough, I have ended up doing it. But
Yeah, I know for me like I remember I think I brought this up on the podcast last time, but my I was dating a girl. I was real young. I think I was like my beginning year of high school or maybe even middle school. And my sister told my girlfriend that I played video games and I was like freaking out. I was like, why
yeah.
would you tell her that? Because it's just so look even like back then like it was just kind of looked down upon. Like you didn't tell people you were gaming. You didn't you know what I mean?
You
Not
didn't.
especially here.
It was kind of like you didn't want to tell
Yeah,
people. It was
yeah.
like people would ask like what you did over the weekend, and I would have to like lie. It's like I don't want
Yeah.
to tell them I was locked in my cave for 48 hours straight. It's like what
I
the
touched
fuck.
grass, man. I just went outside, looked at it, you know.
But that all changed when I had my name on a contract and had a legit salary, and I was making more money than any of my friends in high school who have degrees and have real jobs were making from sitting in my room playing games. Like that's when it all changed and people were like envious and like jealous of it
Yeah.
and they're like, wow, like I wish I could do that. And it's like, well, that's what I've been doing for 10 years while you guys kind of made fun of me and like now
Yeah.
here I am. So it's like
Yeah, everybody like when I see I'm still chasing it. I still have not like made it where I can live by myself or live off of it myself as well. So I'm still trying
yeah.
to break that barrier. So when people ask me and they're like, "Why are you doing it?" or like, I don't think that something that also irritates me is people don't understand like Halo Infinite is like how do you put it? Like you said earlier, it's kind of very vanilla and simple. But
Yeah.
to be able to play it at that level, there's like levels to it and people
Oh, there
don't
is.
like. I remember there's kids I used to play Halo with way back in the day when we were young. They're like, "Oh, you compete in Halo now? Oh, I could do that." I'm like,
Dude,
right, dude.
anytime I talk to family or people from my school, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, "Oh, dude, I could do that."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what do you mean? Oh, I play, dude. I play call. I got 30 kills in TDM yesterday. Like, dude, how do I play for money?
yeah.
It's like there's so much levels to it. Like, you
Dude.
guys don't even understand.
Like when my first year last year, like I thought I didn't come into it thinking like, oh, I know everything because I wanted to keep that good mindset of like I need to learn as much as I can. But
Yeah,
every 3 to 6 months, man, I look back at my gameplay. I'm like, I didn't know shit. Like even now, like 3 months from now, I'm gonna look at myself the same way. Like I didn't know anything. And there's just these huge levels. And is there like any way? I guess would you say is there any tips to like breaking through those different levels, or you just keep picking people's brains, or
You just gotta put your head down and grind, and it's like it's hard to do that when you're not seeing like outcome from it. I guess like you're not seeing money, you're not seeing like progress, like, and it's hard to like convince yourself it's worth it. But put your head down and grind. If you truly think you can make it, if you truly think you have what it takes, then like don't let anyone stop you. Like don't stop yourself. Head down, grind out anything you can, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it'll come, if it'll come, it'll come. If not, at least you can like live with the thought of like I tried. Like you don't have to live with the what if. Like like what if I like if you gave up, it's like you always have those what ifs. So like as long as you really put your head down and try, it'll all work out. If it doesn't work out, I mean, at least you can take solace in the fact that you tried, like that you really, really gave it your all, and like you can't really hang your head at that, you know?
I think for me, it gets to me because like the grind's the grind, man. And you said something earlier about burning relationships. The amount of relationships that I've burned to just chase this, and like
Yeah,
I don't go out. Like last night I went out, I got lucky enough to go out, but that's because I don't have a team at the moment. But like it's to the point now where like everybody understands. Okay, he's not going to be able to go out, or he's not going to be able to do this. And
no,
I've
definitely.
burned so many. It burned so many bridges doing that. But my family got at one point started to like, okay, I understand what you're chasing now. That you had to show them like the processes from optic, or I have
Yeah.
to show them like this is what I'm trying to do. Do you think that's something? And this is just me. I think about this all the time. Do you think that's something we'll regret in the future, or do you think that we're going to build relationships that it won't really matter in the end?
You think like what, like getting after you're gonna regret in the future?
Maybe like regret not living out like your life as much as
Oh,
you should have, and
um,
I think about it
yeah, I
sometimes.
don't
Like,
know. I do too, because like, I mean, I had a decent social life, not the best. Like, I could have had better. I could have had more fun when it came to high school and like right outside of high school and like even up to now. But I think like if it's your dreams, if it's your goal, I don't think you'll ever look back and regret chasing them. I think more so you'll regret not chasing them than chasing it. So like the sacrifices that come with it, it's just part of it. I don't think you'll I mean you could regret it, but I think you would regret more not going after it than, the situation now.
it'd be a lot bigger of a regret than just not doing it. That's I know I couldn't live with myself if I didn't go for it.
Exactly.
It'd probably tear me up for a good bit because I knew, and this is why like I don't really worry about it too much. Every now and then, when you're in the grind, shit comes up and you put your head down, but you're thinking. But I know like I have the charisma and I have like the personality to do like if I wanted to just do streaming and if I just
Yeah.
wanted to do content creation. So I know it's not my backup plan. It's just I'm gonna try to do both, and even though it's hard to do both, I'm gonna do both so that if
Yeah.
Halo doesn't work out, it doesn't matter because I can also like I'm building these relationships within the community that there's another door that could open that actually might be my calling and what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I kind of try to juggle both. I stream, and then obviously compete at the same time. It's not easy. Like it's two separate. A lot of people think like doing this as a job is like easy, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I think it's the greatest job ever, but it's not. It's far from easy. Far from easy. So like yeah, I don't know. Content side of things is something I always thought was like more long term than anything. Like I think competing is short term for me at least, like however long that short term is, if it's a year, 5 years, whatever it is. But like I see myself end goal at the end of all this. I see myself streaming like YouTube, like content side of things. I don't see myself competing forever. So I think I agree with what you said, where it's like maybe competing isn't the calling, and like the content side of things is your calling, and it's like well that's like the same shit I feel too. So
I know, like, regardless, I'll be successful because of my grind. A lot of people don't like. I'd say a lot of people that I know don't have that dedication, and that they would just keep fighting and just instead of quitting. So I
yeah.
know I'm gonna be successful regardless in the way. I just hope I do get to fill that niche, and like I have, like what you can't say, like I've gotten decent placings as where I'm at now, but like I've also put a headset on and sat in the land chairs and sat against there with my jerseys on. I thought I could never. I'm like, truth be told, I've always been down on myself. So like, when I went to my first LAN event, like I was kind of tearing up because I never thought I would be good enough to even earn that aspect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially like coming in because you don't know anything about it. Like if you don't follow esports real well and you don't understand how everything works, you're thinking, oh, how hard is it for me to get a team, and how hard is it to find a org that'll put a jersey on my back and have my name on it?
Yeah. No, I agree. Like my goal, like especially with competing, which I'm sure is everybody's goal, is to eventually win. Like obviously win a tournament. And I think I will view my career as a failure if I don't ever win a tournament. But there are still, like objectively speaking, like I got talked to a couple of people, like obviously PJ, my best friend. He's like, he tried telling me, he's like, dude, your rookie year was phenomenal. He's like that was more successful than a lot of people's rookie years, but like in my eyes, it was a failure. Like I didn't go to Worlds, I didn't do all this. Like I got top 16 at a major, which is cool. But he was like, dude, you got your very first year competing, you got paid a great salary to play the game, and you had good placements. You won online stuff, blah blah blah. Like that is a success. And I was just like in my eyes, it was like a failure again because I didn't make worlds. So like that just in my eyes meant like year one was a failure. But like objectively speaking, it was like it was successful. And Kazi, PJ did say that, you motherfucker. I see you in the chat.
What's up, Luis? Me and KingJay. Shout out to you. Thanks for hopping in the stream. I think I agree with you. It's because I think it's a mentality thing, right? Like, yeah, to be able to get paid. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm ready for that call. Like, I'm so excited for a call like that to be able to have a salary. But I'm like you, man. If I don't win at least one, like for
Yeah.
me, it just feels like I am a failure. Like because that's kind of what you want. You want that high. You want that feeling. And you I think we think the similar way, so I'm gonna say the same thing that you probably think in your head is like somebody asks you like, oh, you're a professional gamer, but then they ask how many times have you won, and then you're like, well, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of in the
Yeah.
back of your head.
No, well, I'm like I've won some online stuff. Like I
Right,
won Twitch
absolutely.
Rivals, I won random online shit. Like so like I've had that little taste, but like yeah, when it comes to like the major tournaments, it's like if I don't ever win one of those, it's like I would probably view this whole thing as a failure. Objectively, is it a failure? Probably not. Like being able to say this is my job and a career is a success in itself, right? Like that in itself is like accomplishing a goal or a dream. But yeah, I don't know. Like obviously, winning is the end goal. If that never happens, then like I mean, I don't know. It'd be pretty tough, but it is what it is, I guess.
Do you okay, so this is that kind of leads into like what I wanted to ask you is like people attack, I'm gonna just use Ty for example. People attack Ty all the time about like, oh, you're not a real pro because you haven't won a lot, blah blah blah. Do you consider like that as you think that that really identifies people as considered a real pro?
No, I think, I mean, my definition of a professional is you're getting paid to do whatever it is.
Mhm,
Like, whatever, like,
absolutely.
I mean, you can apply that anywhere. Like, are you going to sit there and say fucking Justin Jefferson is not a pro football player because he's never won a Super Bowl? No, he
Oh.
clearly is. He's one of the best in the world. He's just never won. He's still a fucking pro. It doesn't matter. So, like, and you can say the same about any of the top players that haven't won anything in any esport. Like, they're still fucking pros. They're still successful. They're still better than 99% of human beings on Earth. Just because they haven't won something doesn't classify them as like not a pro. Not at all. I don't think.
Do you see, and this is, I mean, obviously the answer hopefully should be yes, but like, how long do you think it would be? And I know you're working with the guys that you're playing with now. Do you see yourself winning a major here in the next couple of years?
I mean, you can call me delusional, you can call me stupid, but I think it would be stupid if I didn't have that mentality of
Right.
it's possible. Like if you're coming into stuff like thinking it's not possible, like what are you even here for? Like loading, I mean, I just apply that anywhere. Loading into any series, whether I'm playing Optic or whether I'm playing a random team I never heard of, I think I can win. I'm confident in me and my teammates. Like I always think we can win. You can call me delusional. Obviously, that doesn't happen all the time, but like I just feel like that's the mentality you have to have. If you're coming into it thinking it's not possible, thinking you can't win, thinking you can't do it all, like you're already losing in my eyes. Like you already have a failure or I guess like yeah, like a failure mentality. Like I feel like and it's not cockiness, it's just like you should feel like it's possible or else like what are you doing? Like if you don't think it's possible, why are you even here?
Do you think that there's, and I remember, like, I'm gonna bring up Kobe here for a second because he talked about when he got in the league, he realized like some players are just playing for that stability. Are there
Yeah.
pro players in the Halo scene that are just playing for that money and stability and not worried about
Uh,
winning?
I I would I would say I would say if there are players like that, it's players that have won already, that have done that, that are just playing for stability. I don't think I mean again, I could be wrong, but I don't think there's a player in the top 16 or top 12 or top 8 that is just here just to be here, not because they want to win. I think you could pick any random name out of a hat out of the top 8 teams, and I promise you, every single name in that hat will have the exact same fire when it comes to winning. I don't think there's anyone that's just here just to be here.
100%. So it like how it's might seem like a stupid question, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. At what point do you value like in that? Let's just say you're in that top 12, right? Those top 12 teams. Are you worried about like people's past winnings and championships, or are you more focused on what they could bring as far as a player aspect and chemistry?
Are you talking about like teammate wise?
Yeah, teammate wise. Like if you're bringing someone
Uh,
in,
Yeah, of course, like winning matters. Winning is the hardest thing to do. Winning a whole thing is the hardest thing to do. So if someone has done that, they have the mentality, they know the intangibles, they know how to win clearly if they have one. So that obviously plays a factor. But at the same time, on the other side, am I looking at someone who hasn't won and like looking down on them? No. Who the fuck am I to look down on someone who hasn't won because I haven't fucking won shit. So it's like me
right?
personally, like I mean I couldn't like that is obviously changes when it comes to the top. Like, I mean, like if you look at Lucid or like any of the top players who have won something, like I'm sure they probably would view it differently. But like me, I can only speak on me personally. Like I wouldn't ever like look down on someone like that.
Do you see, and this is no disregard to your current teammates or anything like that, but do you see you're playing with any of the bigger names, or I'd say the or top pros maybe in the next shakeup in the next season? Do you think that might be
Uh,
something that could happen, or
I don't know. I think if you would have asked me this a year ago, I think my stock was a lot higher last year than it is this year, just for the simple fact that I didn't make Worlds last year, so it's unfortunately people will just like look down on that. But yeah, I mean, I'm confident in myself. I know I can, like I have before.
right?
I've played with top like in some of the I played a tournament with Snakebite, Lucid, and Royal too, and like I did just fine. Like I know I can play with the top of the top. It's just like it's just proving yourself again. It's just like you have to prove yourself. You know, you're no Optic's not going to just call me up and say, "Hey, you want to
Yeah,
play for no?" Like, you're not going to get a call up from like a top team for no reason. Like, you just gotta prove yourself, and like, I'm confident I can prove myself. I know I can. It's just the matter of doing it. So,
yeah, man. I've been following you for a while, and I do. I was giving you some gas this weekend. You guys played really well. I know you guys didn't get the result that you wanted, and I think you guys are really close to getting that. And I feel like
yeah,
you guys learned a lot as a team when it comes to that tourney. I feel like it did bring some value.
yeah. No, I mean, as cliche as it is, like I've always thought, like, no, it's not losing if you learn from it. Like, as long as we can learn from why we lost a series or why we lost a map or whatever it is, then it's not really a loss in my eyes. As long as you get better from it, and that's really all you can do. So,
Is that kind of the talk when I know you guys, you say that you look at every team as you can beat them because at that level
yeah,
you pretty much can beat them if you
yeah,
bring it what you're
of
supposed to do.
course.
Do you see yourself going to certain series like if you're going against Optic at some point? Do you looking at it as like trying to learn as much as you can from that series?
No, that's an afterthought. I'm going into
Mm,
the series winning. Like the only thing in my head
100%.
is winning, beating whoever the four guys across from me is. It's whatever. Like I'm just want to win. Obviously, after the fact, if we lose, and then now it's like, okay, what can we take from the loss to be better? But going into it, it's not like if it's a scrim, sure. If it's a
Mm.
tournament and optics in the lobby, I'm in my mind. I'm not like, okay, let me just learn from this series. My mind is let me 3-0 these fucking guys. Like I don't care who it is. Like I just want to win.
Is it always and people say this in the casters say this as well, and sometimes you have those 3-0 upsets and stuff like that as well. But is it almost a guarantee? Is it how CDL does their map pools and their map picks? Is it the
Yeah.
same way like at your higher level, like you're picking certain maps, or is it just kind of I don't know how you guys do it
Uh,
at that like at that very top.
what are you talking about? Like
Like
tournaments?
you
Like what
guys,
else?
yeah, like tournaments. You guys don't choose map picks. You don't do any.
Nah, HES does all that. We don't get to choose shit. Picks and bans would be pretty interesting. I don't know if it'd be good or bad. I don't know. We'd have to see. But no, we don't get a say in shit. It's whatever the whatever the tournament organizers say we're playing. We're playing. That's it.
When like two Titan teams are playing against each other, for the most part, there's always going to be like kind of close these game. How do I say it? Like 3-1s or 3-2s. It's always going to be like that. Like, very rarely do you see like a 3-0 when most of those top teams go against each other. Is that just because certain maps favor for the most part?
Yeah, I'm sure like certain teams are better at certain game modes, certain teams are not as good at certain game modes. That's not to say certain teams are bad; they're just
Mm.
better at certain game modes. So, yeah, I'm sure. Like, yeah, like you look at a team like FaZe. They had FaZe when they were Sentinels had a really big problem on recharge. They couldn't figure out recharge. They even literally asked, like PJ asked me to help them with recharge, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck? So like, yeah, like they just weren't good at recharge. They would always lose it no matter who they played. So it's like, sure, like some teams are just not as good as other teams at certain stuff. So that could be a reason why.
Yeah. When it comes to the pro level, and I think I had this conversation. I can't remember who I had this conversation with recently. I think it was Birds. We talked about it. But what do you like without giving away secrets and without giving away the stuff that you would want to give away? But when you're looking at video on a pro level, like what are you coming into it looking for? What is exactly?
When like again, I can't speak for everyone. I'm just speaking for me and my team. When we go into VOD, we're not looking at like the big picture. We're looking at small situations. We're looking at specific situations. So situations we're gonna find ourselves in, whether it's like 2v1 or like should we be pushing B or C here? Like those specific situations, that's what we're really looking for because again, we're going to find ourselves in these situations, so we're trying to figure out the best way to go about them. That's what we do in VOD. Again, I can't speak for other teams. I don't know how other teams do it, but like us specifically on Quell, like we'll pick a couple maps that we struggle with or game types that we struggle with, and we'll look at specific situations. Again, like we'll look like, okay, should we have done this, or was this the better play, or should we have wrapped left when right was the better play? Should we have capped C when beat? Like whatever it is, like we look at really specific stuff.
Do you have any like kind of tips or anything that somebody could get better at, or is it just come down like just studying and then being in that situation over and over again?
Um, yeah, studying is important, but I wouldn't. Again, I wouldn't like try to replicate someone's gameplay. Be yourself. You can take little things from people. You can take stuff from people. You can look at Lucid and see what he does and apply some of it to your gameplay. But I wouldn't try to again copy someone one for one. Like I don't think that's the smartest way to go about it. I think every player has their own skill set that they excel in. Not everyone's the same. Like APG is more of a team player versus like a Lucid who's more of an individual skilled player. They're not the same, but they can have the same impact. Just because they have
Hmm.
different play styles doesn't mean they have different impacts. So that's the same for everyone. Like whatever your skill set is, like you can still dominate like whatever it is, like you could still be fine. So I would say like don't try to change your play style. Again, you can implement little things from other players that are better than you, but like stick to who you are and fix the mistakes you have, but keep your play style and make it your own, you know.
Hmm. Zeno asked, and I'm pretty sure he's probably 50% trolling because Zeno loves to troll.
Al- Always.
Always. But I think we touched on this pretty early in the stream, and maybe some people missed out on it. But I know I wanted to get you to say it again as well. But like he said, can we talk about how to get out of the free agent cycle and get picked up by a team? Kind of want you
You
to
just
touch
gotta
on that again.
prove yourself. Like you just gotta show up in the especially in the tournaments is where a lot of the names are made. Like me personally, again, my first tournament I played with COD players and we placed top 24 and that's when the first tournament had 512 teams. So that was pretty good. And we beat a lot of the good players and that's the only reason I got picked up by BBG and got my first salaried like position was because I beat I beat Nemesis. I beat like good like actual proven Halo players, and that like they were like, oh shit, like who the fuck is this guy? You know, and they're like, like why is this guy beating me? And like that's how I got picked up in the first place. So it's like you got to prove yourself again. You can't just expect instant success. You can't just expect teams to pick you up or whatever it is the situation is when you haven't proven yourself, when you haven't shown that you have what it takes. Like you can be as confident as you want in the world, and that's great. Confidence is a good thing, but you have to back up the confidence. You can't just talk. Like you have to walk the walk, as cliche as it is. So like I think proving yourself, whether like I don't think like matchmaking's whatever, like you can go crazy in matchmaking. I don't think that really fucking matters. But like showing off in tournaments, having good stats in unfortunately, like at the highest level, stats don't matter. But when it comes to like looking at players that are on the rise, stats do matter. Like KD does matter. At the top, it doesn't. Like like who cares if you drop a whatever, like that doesn't matter. But like coming up, like having good stats, like having good KD, like good placements, that's what'll get you noticed.
I think that's always been my worry is because like I focus more on playing the game correctly and like help playing as more of a team. Do you think that like that'll hurt me in the longer run than versus me playing a little more out of pocket to try to get my stats up?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's gonna hurt you. I don't think it's something you should lose. But when I was coming up, my the advice I was given by Snakebite, the fucking second best Halo player of all time, was stat your fucking ass off when you're trying to make a name for yourself, because the top teams aren't looking like you make a good team play. No one gives a fuck. Like no one cares. That doesn't show up on the scoreboard. But you dropping a 1.8 versus a top team, that is like, oh shit, like what the like, you know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, like that's matters, and it's like, so PJ told me, he's like, dude, stat your fucking ass off when you're coming up. Like, obviously, you don't want to lose that team play. You need that team play at the highest level. That's what matters. But when you're coming up, like good stats and like good like dropping big numbers, that's kind of what gets eyes on you. And then like once you have eyes on you making the right plays and team plays, that's where you'll elevate yourself. But like as a pure am trying to make it, dropping huge numbers is probably your best bet. Like I like again, like me, if I'm looking at AMs, like if I like an AM makes a good play or whatever, cool. Like that was a good team play. But if I see an AM drop a 1.8 versus a pro team, now I'm like, oh shit, like what the fuck? Like that guy's kind of like that, you know? So it's like I think again, it's unfortunate, but I think statting your fucking ass off is a good way to like really get your name out there and like get eyes on you and then let the rest come. But that's not to say like don't lose your like for you personally, like don't lose your team aspect. Like that's something that's super important.
Yeah, I guess like my what the things I worry about is how do you obviously there's a correct way to do it and a wrong way to do it, but like when it goes to like statting and trying to stat more and get your name out there more, are you always going to sacrifice certain team plays to do that and you just kind of
Yeah,
learn?
you probably have to. Like, I don't think you can like fully stat and be a full team player at the same time. You're gonna have to, yeah, like if you truly want to stat, you have to bait your teams. You have to get the power weapons. You have to let your teammates go die first, get the kills. Like, and again, it's a bad play style. It's not a good play style. It's not gonna result in like good play. Like it will, it could result in good placements, but it won't. Like teamwork will take you farther. But if you're just trying to get your name out there and trying to blow up and make it through, like, yeah, statting in big numbers is probably your best bet.
Does it more your stats matter more or is it more placings or is it a mixture of both?
It's a mixture of both. I think you need a good happy medium. Like if you're placing top 64 but have a 2.0 KD, I don't think anyone's going to give a fuck. But if you're placing top 16 and you have a 2.0 KD, then people are like, "Oh shit," you know, like now like it's serious. Like, I don't know. It's like you need a good balance of both. You can't have shitty placements and great stats, and then it's the same way. Like good placements and shitty stats are the same way. Like people aren't gonna really look at you; they're gonna look at your teammates. So it's like I think you just need to find a good balance of both.
I think that's the problem with amateurs is they don't find that balance. So they like end up getting always the same placements or like cuz I know I've played with guys that are like they're hot on the sticks but then they'll sacrifice every single team player and then we just get fucked on placements, you know what I mean? So like
Yep.
I man there's so much shit to think about all the time, but I think about it all the time as like, you know, how do I bend that happy medium? How do I ride the line? How do I like mix both? And I know it's pretty difficult for me, but is there any way to break it down easier? Is you just kind of
I don't know. It's like I would like I don't know. Again, like if I were you, like I wouldn't lose that team play aspect that you have because that's super important. But I don't know. It's hard because I don't want to just sit here and tell you to bait your teammates and stat because like that could turn like that
that
could
could turn
potentially turn
worse?
into worse placements. Like you don't want to. So again, like I don't want to sit here and tell you to do that. Again, like you just need a good balance. Like you need good numbers and you need good placements. So it's like you need to find the balance. You need to know when statting is good, when statting is bad. You need to know when to flip the switch and shit like that.
I think I'm getting slowly over time. I'm getting better at flipping the switch, but it's something I do think about pretty often. Kyle
Yeah.
said, "Now everybody's going to be statting."
Like I mean, like when I'm and my team, like I don't have the best fucking stats. I'll be honest. Like again, like I'll pop off when I want to, but like I'm always throwing my body in first. I'm always throwing myself in hills, letting my teammates go after me. Like I don't give a fuck. Like I'll go negative 100 as long as that means I win. I don't care. Like I'll drop a point fucking two as long as I win. I don't give a fuck. But again, like that probably hurts me. Like people probably look at that and like, wow, that guy dropped a fucking point eight. Like who gives a fuck if
It's-
they won? But like I don't know. It's just again, like you gotta find a happy medium. And like I know when to turn it off and on. Like I can bait the fuck out of my teammates and drop a 1.5. Like it's nothing. But that's not gonna result in like winning. So it's like why would you want that? So again, like you just need to know when to do it and when not to.
Yeah, I have that same mentality. Like as long as we win, bro, I'll literally jump off a cliff. If that's what I have to
Exactly.
do for us to win, I'm cool with that. And
Yeah.
that's where like my worry comes from is like having that mindset. Will it hurt me in the long run? Which we reason we kind of broke that down a good bit. Is there anything that you would tell these younger kids that are just starting, or maybe anybody who's looking at competing in the gaming? Like, how do you know? At what point do you know? Like, okay, maybe I got a little something. Maybe I can do a little something.
I wouldn't. It's really hard for me to sit here and tell people not to drop everything and only focus on this if you think you can make it, because I don't think that's the smartest advice. Like I think you need a plan B, you need something to fall back on if gaming doesn't make it, because it's not easy. It's not easy to make it no matter what game you're playing, wherever you're trying to make it. It's not easy to make it a career. So like it's really hard for me to sit here and tell people to do what I did and literally drop everything and like this is my only option. If this doesn't work out, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. But like I think you need again you need like a good balance. Like have a plan B, but like you need to dedicate time to this shit. You can't half-ass it. Like you can't just get on and play a scrim and get off and think that's good enough. Like you need to put in time. You need to put in individual time. You need to put in team time. And again, like sacrifices are gonna come with that. You're gonna lose out on social life. You're probably gonna lose out on relationships. Blah 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 blah. But like that's gonna come along with it. If you think you truly can make it and you honestly believe it, then fucking go for it. Again, like you're gonna regret, like later on in life, if you never actually tried and never went for it, then you're gonna regret it. Like again, like you'd much rather try, truly try and fail than not try. And you know what I'm saying? Like as
Yeah.
long as at the end of the day, if you can say you gave it your all, it's all that fucking matters.
I think that's you'd mentioned like there's these kids that get on. I like I said I won't say any names, but just they get on like scrim once every couple of days and like all right I'm gonna make it. We're gonna do something. I'm like
Yeah,
bro like it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean hell for me like yes you need breaks. I'm the kind of mindset where like if I'm not practicing Halo I'm over here like damn okay why are you not practicing Halo? You know what I mean? And I
yeah,
understand like some breaks are good and stuff like that, but there's some of these kids. I remember I'm not gonna say any names. I remember when I was practicing my BR when I first started, it was like the beginning of the year last year because my BR was ass, and I was like practicing and practicing and practicing. And this kid who's I'd say he's a lower tier now than what he used to be, and I'm above him now. But he told me he's like, "Why would I practice my BR? The sticks shoot for me." And I was like, "You think that now?" And then it took a couple. I think it was like 3 months later. I was flooring this guy every chance I had. And
yeah.
I guess it's just I don't understand that mentality. And do you think there's a reason that people just have that mentality that it's just they're gonna make it without having to put in that work?
Yeah, it's laziness. it's
Straight
it's
laziness.
laziness and it's probably a hint of entitledness. Like some people feel entitled for nothing. Like some people have done literally nothing and still feel like they're entitled to shit. And it's like where does that come from? Like what have you done to earn the entitlement? So it's like again, I don't know. It's like laziness, entitlement. It's like you need to put in work. Like you have to dedicate. You have to individually be sound. You need to be sound as a teammate. Like all this stuff. It's like you need to put in the time, and like the results will come. Like it's not a quick process. It's not an overnight thing. It's a slow burn. It's a long journey that a lot of people don't want to take. A lot of people think they're too good for the journey or think they should just instantly boom, like I'm good enough, let me do like blah blah blah. It's like, dude, like everyone, like 99% of people start from like ground and like build themselves up. Like that's like how you just have to do it. Like there's no skipping steps. Like it's just shit you have to do.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, that's what I've always felt like it is. That's why, like, if there's opportunities for me, like, I'm not gonna. If I see an open door, I'm not gonna not shoot for it.
Oh, of
But
course, shoot your shot, brother. What's the worst that
absolutely,
happens? Someone says no or someone doesn't reply. Who gives? Dude, I like what the fuck? Who cares? Like, you shooting your shot, you should always shoot your shot no matter what, because you just never know. Like, dude,
Mm,
I shoot whenever I'm an FA or whenever I see an opening on a top team, I shoot my fucking shot. Like, who cares?
absolutely.
Like, dude, before the game came out, I was fucking talking to Falcated nonstop about trying to get on phase, and I'd never even fucking played Halo before. It's like, what am I doing? But it's like, dude, you just never know. It's like, I would never like always shoot your shot. Like, who cares, bro? Like, the
Yeah,
worst that someone's gonna say is no. It's whatever. But again, like, turn that into fire, turn that into fuel. Like being turned down shouldn't piss you off. You shouldn't take it personal. It should be fire. You should
always
use it as
fuel.
motivation. Like that's all it should be. It's never personal. Like it never is. Well, I mean, sure, I'm sure probably sometimes it is personal.
Yeah.
It depends. But like it really is never personal. Like it's like just shoot your shot. Who cares, bro?
Yeah, I think that there's a difference between, and we've seen it today a good bit, but like there's like a delusion. So like I will shoot my shot and maybe like let's just put an example. When Druck missed the tournament for Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
You know, they're posting there looking for one. I shot my shot. I was like, I
Yeah, who
understand.
cares?
I who cares? I shot my shot and I was like, they're like, oh, you know, maybe you get opportunity. I'm like, no, I'm not delusional. Like I understand there's certain
It's a
things that I
long
need to
shot,
learn. It's a long shot.
but who cares, bro? Like you again, you just don't know if you don't try. It's like if you don't put yourself out there, then nothing will come in. And again, when you do get turned down, or when you get ignored, or when you get egoed, like it's not personal. Like you can't look at like, and I'll just use you as an example. Like you can't blame Native Red, a team that just got third at Worlds.
Right.
You can't be mad at them for saying no to you when you haven't like
Proving
proven
yourself.
yourself that
Yeah.
you're good enough to play at that level. Like, how could you get mad at them? So it's like, yeah, like shoot your shot, but like at the same time, like don't fucking take shit personal when it doesn't turn out like well for you. Like,
It's a
but who
delusion
cares?
for some kids. It's just
It
delusion.
is. It is delusional for some
They're
people.
like, I don't understand. Like, cause I wasn't sitting there in Charlotte. I just thought about like maybe they didn't have any options in hell. If it's me, it's me. Fuck it, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
But
Again, like, and
like,
you'll never know unless you try. Like, who gives a
right.
fuck?
So I can't. I'm not gonna name your names, but people's like, "Hey, man, you know, oh man, you might actually be." I'm like, dude, let's not be delusional, okay? Let's. I know there's a lot. There's a long shot for me to shoot it, and it doesn't bother me. But man, like I say for the kids that are a little bit above me right now in placings, like there's a lot of them. I got a lot of empty DMs of no responses, and I use it for fuel, bro. It just gets me
That's how
excited
you.
every day.
That's the right way to go about it, bro. It's like if I'm telling someone no, or if I'm ignoring someone, it's not fucking personal. Turn around and prove me wrong. Make
Yeah,
me look stupid. Make me look so dumb for telling you no. Like, dude, like I said, I told you this at the beginning of this game, in the first month of this game. Collect. I tweeted out that I needed one. It was me, Karma, and Clayster. We needed one for the open. Collect, someone I've never heard of before, someone I've never known at the time. No one knew who Collect was. Messaged me and said, "Hey, I'll play if you want." And I told him to fuck off. I said no. And look at him now. He's fucking better than me. He's higher than me. He's on a better team than me. It's like, bro, you like prove me wrong. And collect, boom, collect, prove me wrong, and I look fucking stupid now. But like that's how it should be. Like, who cares, bro? Who cares? Someone told you no. Just use as motivation and prove them wrong. That's all you have to do.
you ever feel like, or you ever had like, I say you use collect for example. Do you ever feel like that you end up hurting yourself because you don't play with certain people and their name does pop off, or
No, I don't like it. I don't. It's not like I like, dude. If again, if put me back in that time where Collect messaged me, and I would say no every single time, because I,
mm-hmm.
if I had the knowledge now when it went back, obviously I would say yes. But
Yeah.
like back then, you don't know. I would say no every fucking time because it's just not. It was just wasn't worth my time. Like an unknown player, no one's ever heard of, is just not worth my time. So it's like who could like no, I don't regret it. It's like I mean, if you look like hindsight's 2020, obviously I would prefer I would have played with Collect from the start. But like no, like back then, like it was the right choice for me. Like it wasn't the wrong choice. But
Yeah, I hear you. Kind of want to finish up on this as well. He says, I think you can use that mentality. Dito was talking about that mentality as far as outside world too. I actually use that
oh,
mentality for
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah, you can apply that to everything.
Everything.
Jobs, relationships, friends, like whatever. You can apply that to everything.
I wonder, and I think about it some. Do you think there's a certain point where using that fuel and like sitting in that and thinking about like the pain that you feel and all this other stuff, do you think that at a certain point it hurts you? Or do you think that,
If you let it, I think that's you. I think that's
mm,
like that's just you as a no, and I'm not saying you like you. I'm saying like in general, that's just if that's how you let it, if that affects it, like if you let it affect you like that way, that's on you. Again, like if you sit in that pain and let it really affect you, that's on you. Like you just gotta know how to use it as fuel and use it as fire. And like Deedle said, you can apply it to literally real. You can apply it to everywhere. Like you should apply it to everywhere. That's how it should be.
absolutely. We're gonna close it out. The last question I got for you is, what does everybody need to hear? What's something they need to hear today that you feel like you could bring some light to? What's something quick?
Oh shit, I'm on the spot
Yeah, on the
now.
spot. Don't be an idiot. That's be
Oh
one of
shit, I don't know. Be yourself, love yourself. There you
love
go.
yourself.
Live, laugh,
Clean.
love. Some cringe ass shit. Be yourself, love yourself. Don't take shit personal, and everything will be all right. I promise.
I do want to ask this. Like, does anybody have any questions while we're here in the chat? I do want to start doing that bias. If you have any questions for KingJay here, it's up. If you're new and you don't know
Here
what's
come
going
the
on,
troll
yeah, it's
questions.
so
Here, come
trolly,
on,
bro.
Maddie. Come on, Kazi. Come on,
Maddie,
Ed. Come on,
Edge.
Bear. Let me see the troll ass questions.
If anybody's new to the stream, this is KingJay. He's a professional Halo player. Been a professional Halo player for the last 2 years. Did some crazy stuff. I'd say, even though you didn't make Worlds, I think you did pretty well for your fucking rookie year.
Yeah, appreciate it. Objectively, yeah, but I mean, I just hold myself to higher standards. So it's like I think it was a failure, but objectively, sure, it was a success.
Do you think that I'm gonna use this as for my question? Do you think that I should not look down, but like worry about the fact that I didn't do anything like that my rookie year, or do you think that some
No,
people
no, no, no,
just
no,
pop?
no, not at all, dude. Like, some people have terrible rookie years. Like, I mean, I'll take like Snakebite for example, had a bad rookie year, and look at him now.
Yeah,
Some people had an amazing look at Snipedown. Snipedown won the first event he ever went to. Like, he had a great, like it doesn't matter. Like, just because your rookie year wasn't like a success in your eyes doesn't mean that you should look back at it and be like, damn, like I'm not good enough, or like it doesn't matter. Like, nah. Again, like there's so many objectives and so many like things that can go wrong, like especially as an up and comer, people don't give you a chance, blah, whatever it is. Like, don't I would never look at it and be like, wow, that was like a fucking shit show. Like, damn, I'm not like whatever it is, you know.
are you a better golfer than Snakebite?
No, but give me 3 months and I will be.
Yeah, 3 months.
Yeah.
Well, that is a question. Are you ever see yourself playing with Snakebite? That's what I wanted to ask that. Like
Uh,
actually on a team.
I've actually had this conversation with him, and I'll just let it stay between us two. But yeah, I won't explain any of it
Hmm.
or go into detail. But yeah.
How much time do you think this is what Palfius asked? He said, "How much time do you think you should be putting into Halo a week to go pro?"
I don't think there's like a specific answer. I don't think it's like you have to put in 8 hours a day or you won't go pro. You know, like it's just I think you just need to again, you need to find a good balance in your life. Your life's not Palfis, your life's not the same as my life. My life's not the same as someone else's life. I will say like when I was getting into it, I was putting in an ungodly amount of
I
hours.
put
I
on.
would a stupid amount. Like I saw my girlfriend twice a week, maybe if that. It's like I was just so dialed, and it's like but that's not how it has to be for everybody, you know, like you don't have to be like that for everyone. So it's like I think you need to put in a lot of time, but you need to fit that into your normal life. And like again, it's just different for everyone. There's no like right answer for
And one of your favorite quotes: "You're not cheating, you're not trying." Correct.
that. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. Word to last shot.
Word to last shot. Great cheat. I mean, a great player. Real good friend
Great
of mine.
player.
Yeah. But we're gonna end it there, stream. I hope you guys had a good one. I hope you guys got something from this. I enjoyed having Jay out here. If any last bit questions, go ahead and throw them out. My question is, why am I so much better than Mortar?
Any non-troll questions?
Non-troll questions. Somebody give me a good question that like something deep. I think I hit him with a couple deep ones today. I know I had Moonshot. She is a little shaken up here and there with some of my questions.
Shout out Moonshot.
But love her. She's awesome. What did I miss? Cole, give me a question. We're ending the stream. I need to have a good question from you, Cole. No
Here
troll.
comes some. I know he's gonna ask, but he's gonna ask something about fucking shuffleboard, bro.
Oh, dude, shuffleboard is so fun, bro. Oh my god, I love that. Got you, fake. I need some good questions here. First of all, is there a shuffleboard? Is there gonna be one in Arlington? Because
I fucking hope so.
I'll be a better
Y'all got
referee
some
this time.
chows.
I mean, I think I'm gonna chout
Fitness
you.
and gaming go hand in hand. Fuck no. Fuck no, Kohler.
So you you don't think that if you work out or stuff like that, like this, it
No,
does
that
no
shit don't
benefit?
fucking matter. No,
No,
I
no
mean
benefit.
maybe, but like, and again, I'm not gonna use any fucking names, but there's some fucking great ass esport players that are god out like horrendously out of shape. Like I don't think it fucking matters. No.
On the shuffleboard tape. Where was Cole? You're supposed to be. Are you typing a question? You're taking forever here. Cole's probably just typing. But yeah, I think I got to chow you in Arlington. And plus, this time I'll be a better ref when you ask me to, which side of the
Nah, you
line.
were on some fucking bullshit in Charlotte. I'm not gonna lie, but hey, I'm accepting all shuffleboard chows. Any shuffleboard chows out there, I am taking. I want all the smoke.
But man, all you gotta do is slip me a little bit of money. I make the correct call.
I feel like that's what the other team did, to be honest. But
I mean, my pockets weren't empty when I walked away from the shuffleboard table. So I mean,
yeah, I could fucking tell I was gonna be screwed.
okay, here we go. How can I build a network with players a tier higher than me to get better scrims and build relationships, personal connection?
Uh, that is a good question, Slugs. I think you just gotta try and reach out. And again, like I don't think you were here, Slugs, but if people ignore you or people tell you no, you just can't take it personal. You know, you turn it into fuel to fire. Like again, Slugs, if you're texting a top team for a scrim, chances are they're gonna say no because like they don't benefit from it. And it's like I'm in the same boat. Like Optic won't scrim us because like why would they? They can scrim 8 teams that are better than us and get better practice. Like why would they? You know. So like it's not easy to network and build relationships. Just try getting your name out there, showing like even just like your name popping up in chats, your name popping up on Twitter, your name popping up in ranked in other players' DMs. Like that I think that's a good way. Like and again, that's not me saying you have to fucking like dick ride your way to the top. But like you kind of do. Like it's like networking plays a big part in esports. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But yeah, again, don't take shit personal and just having your name out there as much as you can, whether it's like I said, Twitch chats, Twitter, rank, DMs, whatever it is, I think is the best way.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like one of the questions that I had kind of built up is because the way it works is like every tier of players trying to play with the better tier above them
Of
is just,
course.
it's like I
Of
guess
course.
like what's the easiest way to break that? Or you just hopefully get lucky depending on when you just
Yeah,
make your
it's
name.
like I mean, it's maybe get lucky, but again, like put yourself in their shoes. Schlegs, would you scrim a team that is way worse than you because well, it'll help them and that'll improve, but like it won't help you. Probably not, right? So it's like that's the same shit when you ask teams better than you. It's the exact same thing. So it's like you could try, keep trying, whatever. The worst they're gonna say is no, but like never's, but yeah, like it just is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, just too low of a tiers. I appreciate you asking that question, though. We're all here about good questions. But yeah, I did. I think shout out Aish and Wiley and them, real good guys.
No, hold on, Zeno. I told you. Was that yesterday in Discord? I said when you guys make pool play, then we'll start talking about scrims. So there's your goal. There's your motivation. Make pool play, and then we can start talking.
All right, well, I mean, I feel like that's a reasonable ask. Absolutely. And then as far as like team options, if you've ever played MM and if you drop 30 kills in MM, it's pretty good, man. I mean, you can get picked up on a pro team pretty easily if you play
Oh,
really well.
dude, if you drop a 50 bomb and oddball, there's a good chance Optic are gonna have you on the short list of replacements when they make a team change.
Absolutely, Optic like Hex actually messaged me the other day because I was doing pretty well.
Shit, yeah.
I mean, it's no big deal. You making out of Orlando still got
Yeah, that is true,
wow,
Slugs.
that
That
is
is
true.
true. Slugs, when us personally, when we happen to scrim lower tier teams because it's like gonna replace, like someone cancels and we need a last minute scrim, we do go into it like with something specific. So like that is true. I do agree with that. But at the same time, we don't purposely seek out scrims worse than us. Like we don't like it's just like a last second thing. So
That's what Thug Nasty actually shout out Thug Nasty. That's actually what he messaged me about because I was always looking for teams that are above us, and that's why I was shout out Wiley and them is because they were placing higher than us, but they also gave us an opportunity to scrim them, and we learned a lot. Was Thug Nasty said to me is like, hey, like kind of change the way you tweeted because like I needed to scrim last minute, but I was still kind of holding the bar at a certain level, but you can't do that last minute. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
expecting teams to just like, oh, well, you can't play. We're not going to play you. Instead, like kind of what Cole brought up is when you go to scrim those teams that are a little bit lower tier, focus on like certain things that need to change and get better
Yeah,
at.
that's when you can really like dial in specifics because you don't have to because again like you're gonna outplay these teams just by naturally being better than them, so you might as well like really sharpen things that need to be sharpened. But you can't really do that against like top teams. Like if we're scrimming like phase, like we can't really focus on one thing because it's like not gonna fucking work. But yeah, no, I agree with that.
Paula said you look down on AMs, Jay? Question mark.
No, not at all. What the fuck?
I looked down on this. There's this guy named Zeno. Like he used to play and retired or something
Yeah,
like that.
fuck
Yeah.
Zeno.
Yeah, I can't stand that guy. Real cool guy in real life, but like online, he's just
No,
like one
I
of
wouldn't
my.
even say that.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I'm being nice today.
I
He was
hung out
kind
with
of.
that guy in Texas one time, and he brought me to the worst establishment I've ever fucking seen on purpose, too, bro. I'll never forgive him for that.
What is this story? What is this establishment?
This guy's I was in Texas for a boot camp. This was before Kansas City, so I was in Texas for a week, and was like fucking in Zeno's neighborhood is where the BBG house was. So it just so happened to be. So of course I was gonna hang out with Zeno, and this guy brought us to the worst fucking place. It was a bowling alley slash arcade, but nothing fucking worked. It was a ghost town. Half the arcade games didn't work. None of the bowling alley didn't work. We had to tell our waitress or slash waiter at the bowling alley that the lane was broken. Guess who came out to try to fix it? The fucking chef. The chef, the cook came out to try to fix the bowling alley. And half the food didn't work either. It was the worst place I've ever fucking been to. So
Was the
fuck
food good
Xena.
at all? Like everything
No.
was terrible.
No, bro. It was terrible. So fuck Xena.
He said he was 2 for 3. So like, what was apparently the other two that he got right?
Shit. What were the other two? You know, I don't even fucking remember, bro. I'll be honest.
Took him
Oh,
to a
yeah,
goated.
the hot chicken place. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll give you that.
You got what's you've been to Texas? You've been to Arlington, right?
No, I'm
No, you
not.
have not. See, I was gonna ask like what's some good places that we should be looking out for when we go, and like where should we.
That's yeah, I don't know. I've never been there.
Well, do I need to be like brushing up on my poker for Arlington? Are we gonna get another poker night going? Do I need to actually.
Nah, don't worry. Don't brush up on it at all, bro.
I
Just
mean,
go into
it's
it
not,
raw, dude. You're good.
I'm not trying to be. Who was it? Xena? Was it Xena? No, who was it? It was Port, wasn't it? I don't remember who it was. They just come in like fresh, didn't know anything. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, nah,
Yeah,
you
just
don't
don't
gotta
brush up on
practice or
it.
learn poker. Just show up, put your money down on the table, and let the cards do the
I
talking.
just feel like this is like really one sided here. I don't think this is like what the answer is supposed to be. I'll rob Ghost in poker, dude. Yeah, I'm like blind. I practically don't even know what the cards mean at that point. It was ThyyGhost. No. I didn't play. I wasn't about to throw my money out for Jay to just swindle my money. I'll let Jay swindle my money on like Prime subscriptions and like
Let's go.
gifted subs and stuff like that. But Stream with us in it here. I know you guys having a good time. I had a good time bringing out Jay. I appreciate you hitting me up, and I definitely was already looking forward to bringing on the podcast. True story. I spent about 200 at Charlotte buying people alcohol. Yeah, to network with them, you didn't buy me a drink, and I thought we were pretty cool, but it's no big deal. I did eat B-dubs with Cole and Maskey though. But Stream, we're in it here. I hope you guys had a good one. We got all of our questions in. But peace out. Love you guys, man.
See you, everybody.